Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, yes, this is episode number 5 of the I Hate You podcast. Thanks again for listening and joining me today, this evening. It is May 4th, 2018. May the 4th be with you. For all you Star Wars people out there, I unfortunately never really got into Star Wars. Even if I wanted to now, I wouldn't know where to start just because there's so many. And yeah, I just wouldn't know where to start if I wanted to. I think at some point maybe I'd want to figure out what Star Wars is really about. I'm not totally new to it. I've seen some early in I think the last Star Wars thing I really watched was VHS back in the day. I remember a specific scene. I remember the guy in the red face with kind of the spikes coming out of his head with the red and black makeup or whatever. I don't remember. I don't know names really. So that's my Star Wars knowledge. Obviously pretty basic, not much there, but may the 4th be with you, and hope you guys are having a great Friday. I just got off of work. First week of summer is officially done for me. I got out of school a week ago. Last Thursday was my last official day because I had to be moved out last Thursday, which is always a fun process of moving out, just because you have to pack so many things. Sometimes you realize, damn, I came here with this many stuff, and it kind of took me by surprise. I thought one nice large suitcase would do me justice, but I ended up having to ask my dad to bring me 2 more. So in total I had 3 suitcases full of clothes and then 2 buckets full of just whatever else stuff I had. And then I was kind of left to really, since I was the last one that left our room, I had the responsibility to kind of pick up whatever was left over. And word of advice for all you future college students or future GCU students for that matter, don't be the last one to leave, because then you kind of just get left with everything else to clean up, like wiping the counters, making sure the bathroom's clean, which is always going to be a struggle, especially if you're living with dudes, and there's some just nasty stuff that goes on with that. So I was left to kind of clean the shower, no problem, no harm, no foul. It didn't really bother me too much, but it's just not something I would prefer to do. So I think next year I won't be the last one to leave, hopefully. So that was something that was an irritant this last week, not this past week, but a week ago. I haven't clean up the rest of, everybody has messes, and I'm not complaining. I'm just saying what went on. Like I said, 3 full suitcases of clothes, and I'm realizing next year I don't, most of the clothes that I had at school I'm not gonna wear them. So next year, I know after 1 year you would think, okay, you have 1 year under your belt, you know what you need, you know what you don't need, and I still overpacked literally all my clothes, which was unnecessary. And anyone who knows me, knows me. I like clothes. Anytime I get a paycheck, my first thought is what kind of clothes am I gonna buy? My wardrobe is pretty simple. I keep it simple in terms of colors. I keep it simple with what I wear. I really have 2 predominant shoes that I wear. One's white, one's black. So I keep it really simple. But I have a lot of clothes, and I have a lot of clothes I have to give away. So that'll be my plan for this summer, is to really kind of go through my closet and get rid of all the clothes I don't need and I don't really wear. So that's one task for me this summer. But yeah, just finished up the first week of working over the summer with GCU. It is regulation that we work 29 hours, a max of 29 hours a week, which kind of sucks. But fortunately, yesterday we got an email saying that now over breaks, winter break, spring break, now summer break, we are allowed to work 40 hours a week. But there's a catch, especially to our department, which is I work in the Office of Admissions. I'm a junior counselor. Essentially what I do is I cold call people. I work directly with counselors and UACs. Not UACs. I just kind of work with the whole people who are in charge of people's files, and I kind of just I serve as a recruitment agent. Basically, I call people, I call potential students, see if they're interested. If they are, I answer any questions GC related, anything they would like answered. As much as I know that I can help them with, I go ahead and do that. Most of the time, you get people, I'm leaving voicemails, or just after 30 seconds I hang up. Just that's policy. It's an easy job, but sometimes it can be really, really, really boring. So that's where I'm at on that. But yeah, we can work 40 hours a week now. But I'm realizing, okay, yes, 40 hours a week for me seems like fun, because those paychecks will be fat. Those paychecks will be very large. So it's enticing, but at the same time, is the juice worth the squeeze? I'm tolerating my job right now, working 6 hours a day. I work from noon to 6 every day, except for Fridays. I work noon to 5, just because we close the office around 5 o'clock. But working 9 to 6 every day, or 9 to 5 on Fridays, I'm not really sure if that'll work for me, because, like I said, my job is easy, but it can be really, really boring. And I wouldn't say my job right now is really, really boring, but it's pretty boring, just because everyone I kind of talked to and everyone I was kind of cool with during the school year is now gone, doing their own thing. They're home, and I hope they're doing well if they're listening to this. Hope your summer's treating you good so far. But yeah, being there from 9 to 6 isn't something it doesn't sound appealing to me. So I don't know if when that time comes to work 40 hours, I don't know if I'll actually go through with it, just because 9 to 6 at my job. Anyone who knows it's not doesn't really sound good. It isn't really good. It's not fun. Like today, to the end of the day, they wanted to do something to make it at least fun, so they got everyone up and they threw a little blow up, one of those blow up beach balls, and we played a game where we had to, in like 20 seconds, we had to pass the ball like hot potato, and after the clock ran out, whoever was left with the ball had to sit down. That's what we do to team building, and I'm just glad they did it, just because to waste time, because once it hits 4 o'clock, you're on that last hour, and usually that's the hour that goes by the slowest when you're about to get out. But yeah, back to that catch, the 40 hours a week with regards to the way our department structured is that we won't be allowed to, because we're fully staffed right now at 29 hours. So we won't be able to get that 40 hours unless someone were to leave. Let's say they want to go home for a week or two, then we're allowed to get that person's hours to get to that 40. And essentially it's going to be a first come first served basis up until the winter break. Then we can officially work 40 hours without any stipulations or regulations, that kind of stuff. So right now 40 hours is on the table, but there is some restrictions to it, some regulations, however you want to put it. But yeah, week one down, not that bad. Went by pretty quick. I'm happy I'm employed. I'm happy I'm able to make money. I'm happy I'm able to build relationships and get this experience. So I'm not I shouldn't be complaining about anything, but that's That's the human race. We complain about things when we really shouldn't be. But yeah, that's what's going on. Like I said, I finished school last week. Not too shabby of a semester. I mean, what a year. Definitely a year to remember. This past school year was one of trials and tribulations, as you guys know. It was one of, joy, of happiness, defeat, ups, downs. It really had everything for me, and as a year it is the end of the year, a little bit of reflection. It was one I needed, probably, if I were 2020 hindsight, all that kind of stuff. I needed it. I needed to I don't know, educationally wise, in terms of my grades, I did really well my first semester this past year. This past semester, I got a grade I deserved, probably. If I'm being honest, I probably deserved it, but I'm not necessarily happy with it. I think I speak for a lot of people out there. I am not the best test taker. So when it comes to like exams and finals, not really my forte. It's just, and it's not the pressure of it. It's just, I don't know. Because most of the stuff is knowledge retention, and then especially when it's a cumulative exam or final, those are the ones that sucks, because they're expecting you to know what you learned week 1 or week 2 of the semester, and they're asking you, 15, 16 weeks later, okay, tell us what you learned week 1 or 2. So that kind of stuff, I'm good with knowledge retention when it comes to practical things, if you know what I mean. Let me try to elaborate on that. Like, I don't know, like, I have good memory, especially when it comes to life. So, like, I remember things from my childhood. I remember people's names. I remember faces. So, like, if I can go years without seeing someone, and then I'll suddenly see them in a place, and I'll be like, oh, I know that face, and like I've seen that before. So I'm good with that kind of stuff. But when it comes to like school stuff, I don't know, sometimes I just get lost in my train of thought, and I just like lose sight of like what's actually going on, and that's obviously something I need to work on. And it's not like I did bad this semester. I did pretty good. I know I got 2 A's for sure. So that's 2 4.0 grade in class. And then I'm pretty sure I got a high B plus. So, and then the other one, I don't know what the official grade is, but I think it's a high C, so C plus. If my parents are listening to this, I apologize. Like I said, I'm not a great test taker, and that's the reason for my low grade in that class, is because I am not a test taker. Just not. Never have been. And other than that, grades wise, not too shabby of a year. My classes, I'm content with all the classes I took. I'm not, they were all good learning experiences, obviously, as they should be, but that was the situation I was in. They were good. I love GCU. I love the way they structure their classes, the way everything just works. I enjoy it, and it makes things much easier. So if like you're someone who is listening, who you're thinking about colleges, and you're an incoming freshman, really consider GCU. I know the GCU gets this bad rap because it is Christian, it's private, or it's for profit. Get rid of those pre-assumptions, because one, the for-profit, that's gone. We are now non-profit. The Christian aspect, look, we are faith-based, but it's not like we force it on you. It's not like GCU is forcing their beliefs onto people, and we're not demanding you kind of open up about that stuff. It's there if you need it. And like I said, it's there if you need it. We're not forcing on anybody. They're not forcing on anybody. It's just there if you need it, and it's there if you want to go about your life that way. So they have different resources for you to kind of share your faith, experience your faith, all that kind of stuff. And there's no requirement other than taking a Christian worldview class. That's the only requirement GCU asks of you. Is take this class, you're good. Boom. And that class is even like, they just go over things of the Bible, just go talk about God. That's it, a little bit. And it's not even like a class where it's like, it's super demanding. It's a basic level class. That's the only requirement they ask of you. But other than that, if you can get by that, you're Gucci. That's the only faith related thing that they really ask of you, and that's it. Everything else is, it's pretty normal, it's pretty standard. But yeah, I would really consider GCU if I was an incoming friend, not just because I go here and I work here, obviously, but it's just the way the classes are set up. They're small classrooms. You're not in a big lecture halls with like 300 people, 200 people, all that mumbo jumbo. You have class of like, I think the most class I've ever been in was probably like 80, and that wasn't even too bad. But it's just easier for you to, I feel like it's easier to succeed here. How you want to quantitate that, I don't, however you want to do that, go ahead. But I just think it's easier to succeed just the way, school is set up. Everything you need is really here. You got food options, all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so that's what's in terms of school. Personally, I'm good. I'm in a good place right now. It's nice to be home again full time. I feel like that's gonna get old in about a month. I think that's how everything is. Like, you experience something for so long, and now you go back to just the whole living on campus, being essentially 9 months living here. And then going back home full time. It can be like nice and like, oh yeah, family, love it. And I am a family man. I love my family. But after a while, it gets old, and you get bored. And hopefully I don't. I don't know. I don't want to say hopefully I don't experience that, because I think to the point where you get bored is the point for you to find something new. I think that's always good. Is when boredom hits, it's an opportunity, not something. It's not a bad thing. It's an opportunity for you to find something new, something to not get you bored, to take away that boredom. And so I feel like it's an opportunity for you to do something else, and it shouldn't be looked bad upon. So hopefully, if I do get that boredom, I'm able to find something that can kind of negate that. The drive home, it is hot right now. It's getting hot. The Arizona weather is bipolar. A couple days ago, it was like raining, and it was like cloudy and kind of cold, and now my car says it's 92 outside. Probably not even 92. It's probably like 98. It's hot outside, and everyone who knows Arizona, it can get brutal out here. Come July, August, it's gonna be rough. We're talking like 120s and up. You don't want to be outside, and if you're gonna be outside, it better be early in the morning before that sun hits. But yeah, today I took my break, and I was just sitting outside, and I started to sweat after like 2 minutes of just being out there. So, yep, my parents are out of town this weekend. They are in Mexico doing some business, doing some ministry work out there. So, shout out to them. They will be out of town, so it's just me and my brothers at home. I am on my way right now to home, but also to pick up food for my little brother, just because he's not able to drive himself yet by his own doing. So if you are listening to this, Marcelo, you need to get on you're ish, you need to start studying because you're of age. Let's get to it. One of the things I wanted to do, one thing that's been going off lately, that's been in the news, is obviously this stuff about Kanye West. And I figured, last night I was thinking, I was like, maybe I'm going to drop a podcast show tonight. Maybe I'll drop it. But like, what do I address? And obviously Kanye has been in the news this past week for the wrong reasons. I wanted to talk about it a little bit just because Kanye I've been a big fan of Kanye, his music. There's really not one song I do not like of him. He's kind of my go-to when I want to feel up. My go-to music is probably Kanye West. So I'm a big fan. And when I kind of saw the news of what he said, I was kind of disappointed. But I also wanted context. And I think that's something we are lacking as a society now, and this culture we're in, is that we are not valuing context, because one, context matters. With anything, context matters. So, you have TMZ and other outlets kind of posting the little snippet of what Kanye said, in which he was talking about how slavery was a choice. And although on face value of what he said in those exact those words, I'm probably paraphrasing, but essentially what he said was slavery was a choice. Although what he said is wrong, and I do not agree with him whatsoever, I wanted to know what led up to that and what happened afterwards. And so I would encourage people out there who don't know the story or don't know what was going on, or who have heard about it and read about it and seen the video, to really look at the entirety of the video and what led up to it and what was the conversation. Because I go on Twitter, I'm pretty active on Twitter. I see a lot of videos being posted of Kanye saying from slavery was a choice, and not hearing what he said before and what he said after. And even after the moment where the TMZ staffer kind of goes at him and combats him for what he said and how he was disappointed, and he has every right to feel that way, and I agree with what he said. But you should listen to what was after he said that, how, and even his interview, even Kanye's interview with Charlamagne the God, I would encourage people to go listen to that interview. I spent this past, I think it was yesterday, watching that over hour-long interview with Charlamagne the God, and I think that you get a real essence of who Kanye West is, because it's more of a mellow Kanye, because I know Kanye can be really out there and extra, and a man full of confidence, and it can rub people the wrong way. But I think that interview with Charlamagne the God is a really mellow Kanye talking, being real, and talking about his emotions, his relationships, and kind of the things that he's gone through in the past, few years. So I would encourage people to listen to that interview, and you'll kind of see a side of Kanye that you probably didn't know. And I think one of the bad things that are being connected with Kanye is his whole Trump association. And I think that interview with Charlamagne the God kind of speaks to that, and he addresses that. It's not that he's supporting Trump and his views and how he has gone about his business in terms of him being in office, the things that he said, his policies. That's not what Kanye is supporting. Kanye is supporting Trump's kind of how he got there. The idea that anyone can be in office. And I agree. And it's something powerful. And it's not that he's, like I said, it's not that he's supporting his policies, his views on certain things, his views on the black community, the Muslim community, all that kind of stuff. No, it's the idea that someone can do something, that someone has the ability in this country to be something, do something, and that's what for the Kanye, that's what Trump represents. That you have this guy who and they mentioned in the Charlemagne the God interview that how Trump has always been kind of something that was in rap culture. He's always been someone that was mentioned in raps and people. So he was kind of big in pop culture. How someone of that stature in that realm can be someone in office. That's something powerful, and that's what Kanye is trying to relate to, is that you can do whatever you want. Someone like Donald Trump became president, is the man in charge of the free world. That's what Kanye's association is. That's what he likes about Trump, is that he exhibits that possibility to be something bigger, and that ability to be more than what you currently are. And that's what Trump did. He said he was gonna be the president, he was gonna run for office, and he said he was gonna be president, and look, he did it. Whether we agree with it or not, that's not the point. It's the point that he did that. And that's what Kanye's association was with Trump, is that, and like he mentions it, that he wants to sit down and have conversations with Trump, and a lot of people are afraid and they kind of turn off at the idea of sitting down and meeting with Trump. Well, look, change is supposed to make you uncomfortable, and the idea of refusing to kind of accept Trump or like disrespect what the presidency stands for, you know, I feel like that's all bull. Take the opportunity for what it is. Sit down with someone who does have power, who does have the ability to create change. Sit down and just talk to them. Even if you don't agree with everything they are, what they say, what they are, what they do, all that stuff, that doesn't matter, because you're not there to... We don't have the power. We have the power to create change, not change someone, because someone's not going to change who they are unless, you know, something major happens. But the opportunity to kind of have those conversations, you know, that should be respected, that should be encouraged and all that stuff. So yeah, and I think that's what really Kanye is about in terms of his association with Trump, is that, you know, he's cool with him, he's trying to be cool with him in order to help create something bigger than what they are, what he is. You know, he talks about helping the inner cities of Chicago, and, you know, if that's something that goes down, you know, shoot, who are we to criticize? That's something he wants to do. That's something that he feels he needs to do. That's something he feels he is put on this earth to do. Shoot, let him be. Let those two have those conversations, because those are two people. That's someone who wants to create change in his community. That's someone who wants to create change in his world. And if he has to feel like he has to associate himself with someone like Trump, who has the power to create change, you know, why are we discouraging that? Why are we looking down upon that? Yeah, I feel like I went off the rails on that one. I don't know. Hopefully someone understands what I just said. Maybe that makes sense. I don't know. But yes, that was my little Kanye issue rant thing there. So what else do we got going on in the world? The NFL draft was last week, 2 weeks ago. It was last week, yes. A week ago from Thursday. So last Thursday, not yesterday, last Thursday, the NFL draft happened. A lot of shocking stuff occurred. I'll keep this whole sports things pretty short, so all those people who are listening who are not really sports fanatics or don't really want to listen, just hold on tight. I won't dwell on it too much. So don't fast forward, or if you want to fast forward, go right ahead. But yeah, draft threw a couple of unexpected turns. Baker Mayfield obviously went number 1. To many of the sports community was a shock, just because you had, Sam Darnold be the kind of consensus number 1 quarterback on the board, and everyone felt like it was either going to be Sam Darnold or Josh Allen to the Browns, just because of their GM John Dorsey's history with taking strong arm quarterbacks who have the athletic ability. So a lot of people thought maybe it was going to be Josh Allen, just because of John Dorsey's history. He took Patrick Mahomes in the year draft before. So people thought maybe Josh Allen, Sam Darnold, just because he was that kind of consensus number 1. But instead, he went with a quarterback who is under 6'1", who is a 2-time walk-on, which, much respect to that. Walk-on twice to 2 universities, and then you end up being the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. Shout out to you, Baker Mayfield, for that. But like I said, under 6'1", not many quarterbacks who have succeeded that are that small in stature. Kind of the guys you point to are Drew Brees, Russell Wilson, and if you want to throw Case Keenum into that bowl, go ahead. But yeah, those are the really guys in stature that were small have really succeeded. So it remains to be seen, obviously, what he'll do and what he'll be. I have faith. I like the pick just because his bravado and his style and his makeup. I think it's something the Browns needed. They've been an organization who have sucked the past 20 years. Or for a while they've sucked, and I think his bravado, his style, his makeup will kind of be an energizer bunny. I think he'll have people gravitate towards him, and I think that's what you want in a quarterback, is someone who has command, who has that bravado, that swag to him, and I think it will bring out the best in other players. Whether he succeeds, it remains to be seen. It's the Browns. We always put a little asterisk next to it, anything Browns related, just because it's the Browns and they've sucked for a long, long time. So hopefully he succeeds. I think he will succeed, just because you look at his numbers from his last year in college. He put up 43 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. That's, although it was in their conference, they don't really play much defense. But those are impressive numbers. And, each person each quarterback had a kind of a knock on them. But, Baker's was his size and his swag off the field, off and on the field. That was the kind of the knock against him. And I don't think you can really knock someone's confidence, arrogance, swag, whatever you want to call it. I feel like he has it. So, I'm hoping he succeeds. I think he will be, just because he has some nice weapons out there in Cleveland. So we'll see. A lot of credit to the Browns for making that ballsy of a pick, just because they went against the norm. They went against what the consensus thought, and that's it's a ballsy move, and hopefully it pans out for them, just because that's a number 1 overall pick, and you want to see them do well for you. So hopefully the Browns make a good decision. They did take Denzel Ward at number 4, which I thought was kind of reachy for my liking. I thought they should have went Bradley Chubb, the defensive end out of North Carolina State, just because you had Myles Garrett on the roster. So having a kind of a 1-2 punch in your pass rushing could really, really, really be beneficial. And I think a lot of people value a pass rusher over a corner, just because they're hard to find. And although corners are hard to find, good corners are hard to find. Trust me, I know as an Eagles fan, we've struggled with finding really a star corner for a while. We're kind of a cornerback by committee right now. We have a lot of solid guys. One great one? Nope. But we have a lot of good guys. So we're always on the lookout for that standout guy. And some teams have them, some teams don't. You look at the Arizona Cardinals, they have Patrick Peterson. That's a standout corner. That's someone you can put on the island and he'll lock up any receiver. But I don't think Denzel Ward is that. So I think having a pair of Myles Garrett and Bradley Chubb would have been more appealing than Denzel Ward. And if anyone in football knows that one of the hardest positions to find, the three hardest positions to find are, a franchise quarterback, obviously number one, a franchise left tackle, protect the blind side, and pass rusher. So I think they had an opportunity there to take a premier pass rusher, the consensus number one pass rusher, and look at the Browns just went against the norm and they took Denzel Ward. So, their draft, well, obviously you evaluate a draft, you can't evaluate a draft now, you evaluate it in 3-4 years, see what they really pan out to be. But, hopefully it works out for them, because Browns fans need some success. Some Cleveland fans need some success. They have LeBron, and that's pretty much it. Oh, and the baseball team did pretty well this past season. So, but, that's a football town. That's where the Hall of Fame is. The Browns succeeding is good for the NFL. So hopefully, they get back on track with what they got going on. So finally, I wanted to address some things. They are things that I've gone over, that have been in my head, in my mind, that was things that I've felt strongly about, that I've needed to say. And because it is, the end of the year, I kind of wanted to close that chapter and kind of close this past year, a year of ups and downs, as they are for any person, but for this past year has been one of tremendous ups and downs, and it's just been one that's been so prevalent in my life to this point. So with that being said, there's some things that I feel like I have to say, and some things I want to say to a specific person, to a certain person. And with that being said, I know you're probably listening, but Brianna, I hope with what I am going to say and what I say, that you understand that it's not from a place of anger. It's not a place from pain. It's not a place of ill will, hatred, all that. Because if anyone knows, it's you. And you know that I don't have that in me. That's not me. So with what I say, and if it comes across poorly, I'm sorry for that. It's not my intention. It's not my intention to hurt you, to make you feel sad, to make you feel in pain, to make you feel down. Essentially, all I'm hoping for is two things. One, obviously, to kind of put everything out there, all on the table, everything out of me, because it's it's been in my mind, it's been in my heart, and I just want to get it all out. And two, I just hope that it gives you a sense of understanding. It's not for the purpose of me putting you down, putting you in a bad place. No, it's just me hoping that you can get a semblance of understanding with what I say. And you've hurt me, you've devalued me, you've disrespected me, and unfortunately or fortunately, I'm gonna always carry that with me. I'm a firm believer that everything you go through in life it's only a positive, because what you are today is because of what you've gone through. And I'm happy with the person I am today, so thank you for that. You're not the sole reason for it, but you're part of it. And what I have to say is, it definitely can come across poorly. I am aware of that. But just know that it's not intended to be that way. If you want to talk to me afterwards about it, you have my number. Feel free. If not, that's cool too. But what I've been feeling is coming from a place of clarity, and it's coming from a place of my own understanding. And with any sort of breakup, any sort of time away you have with someone, you're able to think and have that sense of clarity, that opportunity to step away and see, what really went on, what was right, what was wrong, why things happened, why things shouldn't have happened. And I don't think you were able to experience that. I don't think you were able to really go through what I think you needed. And sure, it may be like, okay, like, why is he talking about what I need? And I'm only saying this because, one, look, I care about you. You were a part of my life. I spent the last year dedicating myself to you, to being your friend, to being someone that loved you, to being, someone by your side. And so I'm never going to completely disregard that because of the situation that we went through and because of where we are now. That's never going to be disregarded, forgotten, all that stuff. Look, you're a part of my life. You are someone that I experience highs and lows with. That happened. That's not going to be forgotten. So I say this what I say is from a level of understanding, because I know who you are. I know what you aren't. I know what you can be, what you can't be. I've spent a lot of time with you. And I don't think you are someone that has experienced failure. And what I mean by that is, and kudos to you for that. That's not essentially your fault. That's just the way, life has operated for you. I think failure is something that is beneficial to people, to successful individuals. And I know this may come off as ridiculous that I'm saying all this stuff, but it's just how I feel. And you know me, I've told other people, I'm just not going to apologize for how I feel. You shouldn't apologize for how you feel. But I think you've been the beneficiary of not truly really having failure in your life. With school, you've always been determined, you've always been hardworking, you've always been successful in school, and you know what? Kudos, and I am completely happy for you on that level. And I've always looked up to you for that. You're to this day, you are the most hardworking and determined person I've ever met. You're stubborn in both good and bad, and that's worked for you. And I pray that you keep that up, because you're in a good place now with all that stuff and where you are education-wise because of that, those traits, those characteristics you have, and I admire you for that. And you've been someone that I've looked up to for in that aspect. But in more of the relational aspect of life, human to human, feelings, all that stuff, I don't think you've truly experienced what failure can really do and how beneficial that can be for you. You've been someone to, one of the things that didn't work for us, one of the things that I would get frustrated about, and you would get frustrated about, I think, was that how you would put up walls, you would deflate, I don't know what the word is, you would just refrain from really talking about feelings and how things make you feel, how you want to go about certain situations. You refrained from talking that stuff, and you put up walls when things got uncomfortable, and when you just didn't want to talk about how you felt. And I think that's hurt you as an individual, because one, I think uncomfortability elicits change, and I don't think you've experienced failure into the aspect where it was uncomfortable, and that failure can give you a sense of understanding. With that, you don't know what it's like to give everything you've got to someone and for it to fail. I experienced that with you. I'm in a better place now because of it. I'm mentally strong. I feel confident in myself. Something that you took a dig at me for, and it's fine. But when I say that, it's because you've been able to move on so quickly, and you know what? That could be a good trait as well. But I think your ability or your disregard for having understanding in regards to all that, it's only hurt other people around you. You've been able to move on so quickly with things that you forget what that you forget that you're hurting someone. And I think a lot of things, not just you, when I'm speaking right here, and a lot of people in general, they fail to realize that it's not just them. Life isn't just about them. There's people who are the people around you. There's people you work with, go to school with, live with. Your actions, they affect other people, and I think you failed to truly understand that with some of the things that you did. And even now, you made decisions that you have every right to do, and I don't knock you for that, and you know that. But it's how you went about it that has hurt me, and I think that's my biggest problem, is that you fail to realize what you're doing is hurtful, and I don't think you realize that it hurts you as well. Because I'm not gonna hype myself up right now. I'm not gonna be cocky. I'm not gonna push my buttons. I was good to you. I believe so. I'm 100% confident I was good to you as a friend, as an individual who truly cared about you. And you clearly failed to realize that. You didn't understand that. And that's why we are where we are right now. We drifted apart, rightfully so, because you failed to understand all that. I respect you. I do. What I don't respect is your selfishness in certain aspects of your life. There is a part of me that wants you to no longer be the one hurting, that you're now the one hurt. Because even you will admit, you've done a lot of hurting to people. The person you are with now, you've hurt them. And because you are with that person now, I still don't think you have really a semblance of understanding and to know what it's like to fail, because like I said, you've essentially gotten what you've wanted. You've been able to jump from one thing to another without really any problems. The same person you've hurt multiple times, you're now with. And, all respect to the two of you. I've got nothing but ill will towards you to be happy. I've said this to him. I've said this to you. Good luck. Really. But in the end, I don't think that truly helps you. And like I said, I'm saying all of this stuff, and as though it comes across as crazy, like, why is this guy talking about what's best for me? It's because I've spent a lot of time with you. It's because I've developed an admiration, a sense of attachment, a sense of care for you over the past year, that even through all the crap that we've been through, I still want to see you succeed. I still want you to be a good person. And I'm not saying that you aren't a good person, because you are. I would have never dated you if you weren't a good person. But I think there were fundamental flaws in the person that I think you're ultimately trying to be. And you're ultimately trying to be a really good person and to help people. I know that. You've told me many times that you want to help people. So what I'm doing here is just trying to give you my 2 cents. If you want it, if you don't, cool. Fine by me if you don't want it. If you do, awesome. If you don't, awesome. I'm just putting it out there because maybe me putting it on this platform rather than saying it to you face to face, because I would say it to you face to face. I've tried to talk to you, but because you put up walls, you deflect and you disregard, and it sometimes it feels like it goes in one ear and it goes out the other right there and then. I'm putting it on here and I'm saying it on this platform that I now have because maybe it'll resonate with you more. Maybe it'll land with you more. Maybe it'll sit with you more. Maybe it'll mean something. If it does that, awesome, because then what I wanted to do was successful. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And we continue to live our life. I just want you to understand that there comes a certain point where each one of us, not just you, me, other people, whoever it may be, we need to experience failure. And I'm not saying go search out for it. I'm not wishing it upon you. Please understand me on that. I am not wishing it upon you because I don't want to see you hurt. I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to see you in a bad place. But if it comes, learn from it. I hope you do. I hope you have the wherewithal to really learn from it. To gather and to take in that understanding that I think you need. What failure and what that kind of stuff can do for someone. So, with that being said, all that said, I wish you guys all the best. I wish you the best. I wish all my viewers the best. Thank you again for listening to all you I Hate You podcast fans, all you subscribers, all the people who view this. I love you guys. I really appreciate it. I'm trying to make this legitimate. It does mean something to me. That's why I'm putting out, shows when I can, episodes when I can, because, with experience and with practice, I feel like I can get better at it. I can put out better content. So with that, I want to continue this, and I want to make this something of legitimacy, give this legitimacy, and I want to, help grow and build it to something where, I can be really proud of. And with that, like I said, I'm doing this by myself. I've done the last one by myself. Amanda's going to be coming out with one pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, she's home back in California. I'm here, so it's going to be tough to do one together. We'll try and get together, figure out some way to do it, but until then, she'll be coming out with one soon, and we'll be doing individual style podcasts rather than the duo kind. But yeah, and once again, thank you so much for the support. Feel free to follow us on our Instagram at I Hate You Podcast, all one word. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment below what you would like to hear on the next one. If you're going through something, if you're going through some highs, going through some lows, and if you want to share that with me, I'll be more than happy to talk with you and share my thoughts, and we can have conversation about anything. I'm always down for a good conversation. I'm always down to learn about people, to learn about what's going on in their lives. I'm intrigued. I'm genuinely intrigued. So feel free to connect with me. You can even connect with me on my personal Instagram. It is IamGion24. Gian as in Gian. So yeah, hit us with the follow. Email us if you guys would like. Just, if you guys want to communicate, you have the option to. Feel free. And once again, lastly, thank you so much for the support and the viewership. Stay tuned for the next one. God bless, Godspeed, and you guys have a great weekend.